Hello students, today we will continue with body fluids and circulation part 7. In this part we will study cardiac cycle, and in cardiac cycle we will study how does the heart function. Heart कैसे काम करता है. As the working of the heart is a cyclic event, we will begin from a point where all the four chambers of the heart are in a relaxed state, that is, they are in joint diastole. Students, working of the heart is a cyclic event. Means heart works in a cyclic manner, and when we have to study a cyclic event, we have to begin from some arbitrary point. So here we are beginning from a point where all the four chambers of the heart are in a relaxed state. Means they are in joint diastole. Students, there are two terms, one is diastole and second is systole. Diastole means relaxed state and systole means contracted state. When heart chamber is in contracted state, then that is called systole, and when it is in relaxed state, it is called diastole. For example, when atrium contracts, it is called atrial systole. When ventricle contracts, it is called ventricular systole. When atrium relaxes, it is called atrial diastole. When ventricle relaxes, it is called ventricular diastole. So students, we are starting at a point where both the atria as well as the ventricles are in a relaxed state. When atria are in a relaxed state, when ventricles are in a relaxed state, we call it joint diastole. Means both atria and ventricles are in a relaxed state. So from this point, when both atria and ventricles are in relaxed state, we are starting this cycle. As the tricuspid and bicuspid valves are open, blood from the pulmonary veins and vena cava flows into the left and the right ventricle respectively through the left and right atria. And students, during this joint diastole, both these AV valves, these are the atrioventricular valves which are separating the atria from the ventricles. Both these AV valves are open, and so the blood which is flowing from these superior and inferior vena cava into the right atrium and through the pulmonary veins into this left atrium. That blood from right atrium goes to the right ventricle, and from left atrium goes to the left ventricle. So during this phase of joint diastole, the blood from atria is going to the ventricles. The semilunar valves are closed at this stage, and during this stage, the semilunar valves, which are the valves of this aorta and pulmonary artery, they are closed. So students, this was about the diastole phase. Now the SA node now generates an action potential which stimulates both the atria to undergo a simultaneous contraction, the atrial systole. And students, now what happens? This SA node generates the impulse, and that impulse first spread to both the atria, because the fibers from SA node are directly innervating both the atria as the fibers from this SA node are directly stimulating both of the atria. So the atria will start contracting, and when atria will contract, the phase will be called atrial systole. And due to this contraction of atria, more blood will flow to the ventricles, because when atria will contract, intra-atrial pressure will increase, and that will push more blood inside the ventricles, and this increases the flow of blood into the ventricles by about 30%. So students, due to atrial systole, about 30% more blood comes into the ventricles. So students, first we study about the joint diastole, then we study about the atrial systole. And now in next phase, this impulse will reach to the AV node, and from this AV node the impulse will go through the bundle of His and will spread to both the ventricles. And when this impulse will spread to the ventricles will start contracting, and as the impulse has passed from SA node to AV node, and this impulse from the atria has ended up now, and the atria now will start relaxing. So atria will come in a phase of atrial diastole, whereas the ventricles will come in a phase of ventricular systole. The action potential is conducted to the ventricular side by the AV node, from where the bundle of His transmits it through the entire ventricular musculature. So I am again repeating, the impulse from SA node reaches the AV node, and from AV node through the bundle of His it spreads to the ventricles. This causes the ventricular muscles to contract, and due to this impulse the ventricular muscles will contract, and the phase is called ventricular systole. The atria undergoes relaxation diastole coinciding with the ventricular systole. And students, when these ventricles are contracting at the same time as the impulse from SA node has ended up over the atria, as the impulse over the atria has ended up now because it has passed to the ventricles, so the atria will start relaxing, called the atrial diastole. So atrial diastole occur at the time of ventricular systole. So atria undergoes relaxation, called the diastole. Atrial diastole coincides with ventricular systole. Now students, now what will happen due to this ventricular systole or ventricular contraction? Due to this ventricular contraction, intraventricular pressure will increase, and a time will come when the intra-atrial pressure will become less than the intraventricular pressure, because the atria are relaxing, ventricles are contracting. When atria are relaxing, intra-atrial pressure is decreasing, and ventricles are contracting, intraventricular pressure is increasing. When intraventricular pressure is increasing and intra-atrial pressure is decreasing, a point will come where the intraventricular pressure will become more than the intra-atrial pressure, and at that time blood will try to go into the atria, and when blood will try to go to the atria, it will strike to the flaps of these AV valves, and the AV valves will get closed. So students, when the blood will try to go to the atria, it will strike to the flaps of AV valves, which is tricuspid valve on the right side and mitral valve on the left side. It will strike to the flaps of AV valves and the AV valves will get closed. Ventricular systole increases the ventricular pressure, causing the closure of the tricuspid and bicuspid valves due to the attempted backflow of blood into the atria. Students, I think this is clear. Now, in next phase, as the ventricular pressure increases further, now students, as the ventricles are contracting, so the intraventricular pressure is increasing. So a time will come when this intraventricular pressure will become more than the corresponding artery pressure. Means the intraventricular pressure of this right ventricle will become more than that of pulmonary artery, and the intraventricular pressure of left ventricle will become more than the hydrostatic pressure in the aorta. So at that time, blood will force open the valves over these arteries, and these valves are called semilunar valves. So a time will come when intraventricular pressure inside the ventricles becomes high than the corresponding arteries, and the semilunar valves are forced open, and that blood will push over the valves to open those valves. So now the semilunar valves will get opened up, and blood will start flowing from ventricles to the corresponding arteries, from left ventricle to the aorta and from right ventricle to the pulmonary artery. So as the ventricular pressure increases further, the semilunar valves guarding the pulmonary artery on the right side, pulmonary artery, and the aorta on the left side are forced open, allowing the blood in the ventricles to flow through these vessels into the circulatory pathways. And so the blood flows through this aorta and pulmonary artery into the circulatory pathways. Now students, once the ventricles contract, after that they start relaxing, and when the ventricles will relax, the intraventricular pressure will decrease, and when the intraventricular pressure will decrease, again a point will come when the pressure inside these ventricles will become less than the pressure inside these arteries, corresponding arteries, and at that time blood will try to come back to these ventricles, and as the blood will try to come back, it will strike the flaps of the semilunar valves, and when the blood will strike the flaps of semilunar valves, the semilunar valves will get closed. So students, the ventricles now relax and the ventricular pressure falls, causing the closure of the semilunar valves, which prevents the backflow of blood into the ventricles. So closure of the semilunar valves will prevent the backflow of blood from arteries to the ventricles. And students, now as the ventricles are relaxing, intraventricular pressure is decreasing. Again a point will come when the intraventricular pressure will become less than the intraatrial pressure, because intraatrial pressure is continuously increasing now due to the blood coming from the corresponding veins. as the intra-arterial pressure is increasing due to the coming blood from the veins, and intraventricular pressure is decreasing due to its relaxation. So a point will come when the intraventricular pressure will become less than the intra-arterial pressure, and at that time the blood in the atrium will force open these walls, these atrioventricular walls, and the atrioventricular walls will open up and the blood from atria will start flowing again to the ventricles. As the ventricular pressure declines further, the tricuspid and bicuspid valves are pushed open by the pressure inside the atria, exerted by the blood which was being emptied into them by the veins. So students, the atria are receiving blood from the veins, and that blood is causing the intra-arterial pressure to increase. So that blood will put pressure over the tricuspid and bicuspid valves and they will be forced open. And blood now once again moves freely to the ventricles. And students, now the ventricles and the atria both are in a relaxed state, and which is called joint diastole, and this was the point from where we started the cycle, and we have again reached to that point, and after that again SA node will generate impulse and atria will contract and will force more blood into the ventricles, so the again cyclic event will start. So this was about the cardiac cycle. The ventricles and atria are now again in relaxed state as earlier. Soon the SA node generates a new action potential and the events described above are repeated in that sequence and the process continues. So students, this sequential event in the heart, which is cyclically repeated, is called cardiac cycle. So students, this sequence of events which I have told you is called cardiac cycle, and it consists of systole and diastole of both the atria and ventricles. It consists of atrial systole, atrial diastole, ventricular systole and ventricular diastole. As mentioned earlier, the heart beats 72 times per minute. That is, that many cardiac cycles are performed per minute. And students, SA node generates impulses about 72 times per minute. So cardiac cycles are also repeated at a rate of 72 times per minute. And if we divide this 1 minute, means 60 seconds, by 72, we get the duration of one cardiac cycle, and so the duration of cardiac cycle is 0.8 second. So one cardiac cycle is completed in 0.8 second. Now students, during one cardiac cycle, each ventricle pumps out approximately 70 ml of blood, which is called stroke volume. And students, in one cardiac cycle, each ventricle pumps out about 70 ml of blood in the corresponding arteries, and that 70 ml of blood is called stroke volume. So stroke volume is the amount of blood ejected by each ventricle to the corresponding artery in one cardiac cycle. And if we multiply the stroke volume by the heart rate, we get the cardiac output. If we multiply the heart rate with the stroke volume, we get the cardiac output. And what is cardiac output? Cardiac output is the volume of blood pumped out by each ventricle per minute. Stroke volume was volume of blood pumped out by each ventricle per cardiac cycle. But the cardiac output is volume of blood pumped out per minute. And it averages about 5 liters in a healthy individual. So if the heart rate is around 70 beats per minute, because it varies between 70 and 75 beats per minute, and the stroke volume is 70 ml, if we multiply both, this comes around 5 liter. So 5 liter is the cardiac output of a healthy individual. Now, our body has the ability to alter the stroke volume as well as the heart rate, and thereby the cardiac output. And students, for example, during running, our heart rate increases. When heart rate will increase, cardiac output will increase. And similarly, in athletes or in sports persons, as to meet the oxygen and nutrient supply of the body, as to meet the oxygen and nutrient demand of the body, in sports persons, heart has to work more, heart has to work hard, and due to the hard working of the heart muscle, it gets hypertrophied. Students, in athletes, this cardiac muscle gets more thick, more hypertrophied, because it has to work hard to meet the oxygen and nutrient supply of the body. So the stroke volume in case of athletes is more than the ordinary man. So we say that the cardiac output of an athlete will be much higher than that of an ordinary man. Now students, during each cardiac cycle, two prominent sounds are produced, which can be easily heard through a stethoscope. And students, have you ever seen the doctor usually hears our heart sounds with the help of a stethoscope? And with the help of stethoscope, they hear two heart sounds. One heart sound is like lub and second heart sound is like dub. And with stethoscope they hear lub dub, lub dub. These are the two heart sounds. The first heart sound, lub, that is associated with the closure of the tricuspid and bicuspid valves. And students, during this cardiac cycle, as we have studied, there occurs the closure of AV valves. When AV valves gets closed, the closure of AV valves produces a sound which is the first heart sound, whereas the closure of semilunar valves produces the second heart sounds. Opening of valves doesn't produce the sound. Only closure of the valves produce the sound, and the first heart sound is produced by the closure of AV valves, and the second heart sound is produced by the closure of semilunar valves. And students, these heart sounds are of clinical diagnostic significance, because whenever there is some defect in the valves, they are not getting properly closed, the heart sounds becomes disturbed, and that helps in evaluating the clinical disorder. So students, this was about the cardiac cycle, and if you have any doubts, you can mention in the comment section. We will try to answer you as much as possible, and if you want notes, you can download from the description box. Thank you.